Oh, so hello everybody, and welcome to part 2 of my HST lever lighting saga. As you can probably hear in the background, let me just move up a bit. The HST is now running, and so I'm very pleased. So it's been a bit of a saga, and the saga wasn't actually to get it running. The saga was actually to get it put back together again. Now, those of you who watched the earlier live stream would have seen that the amount of wiring that was in there. Now, ideally, I could do with going back there and chopping some of the wiring out, but it was just, to be honest with you, I just didn't want to cut too much off. It's one of those, you cut too much off and then you have to stretch it and then it doesn't quite work, because then the bogies you've got to let the bogies free will. So I'm really pleased with the results, because it's absolutely running superb now. And let me just, bear with me a minute, I'm just going to get you back into my channel, so bear with me a minute. Let me see, bear with me a second. It's my channel, so bear with me a minute, people. Right. Oh, what a saga. So what happened? Why couldn't I get it to run the first time? So the first time I couldn't get it to run, I couldn't fathom it out. I really couldn't understand why it wasn't running. And it turns out that it hasn't actually got anything to do with me and what I've been doing to set this up in the first place to get the lighting to work. Excuse me. What it was is basically on the socket itself, and it was a cheap socket harness that I bought from eBay some time ago. It basically, what happened is one of the red wire had to come undone from the actual socket itself, not from where I'd been soldering it and all the rest of it, not what through the joints that I put on it, but actually from the socket itself. So I didn't realise that so it took me a little while to get to that point. And then I got it running again. And then as I did that, the one on the other side, the black one, had done the same. So I've had to resolder, as you saw me do, the pickup and the red and black to the main socket itself, because they had come undone too. Obviously it was a weak joint. But I'm glad to say it is up and running, as you can probably hear. And I'm going to spin the camera around so you can see it running for yourself. Now, I haven't actually let's just sit here because it's coming now. Oh, let's go to that. You don't want to see all that mess in the kitchen there. As you can see, it's now running. Hi, Southern Train Girl, welcome back. We get there in the end. I was just saying that I've got my HST up and running again. So you're just going to see it in just a moment. Oops. Well, actually, that's probably a good thing. Look, you'll see the lighting for yourself. It's actually better than the one on my other one, actually. Alright, let's go back that way. You really don't want to see my kitchen. Thank you. Thank you. It took a bit of time. Like I said, what happened was the socket, the wiring at the socket. Thank you, King Fox. I just thought I'd give you a brief update as it comes around. Basically, it's the wiring on the socket itself that had come undone, and that's why it was doing that. So, luckily, hello Rachel, thank you. We get there in the end. It was a real faff. The faff was actually putting the body back on because of all the wiring that was underneath there. Like I said, I could have probably cut some of that wiring down. It probably would have made it easier. And the other thing is, because it's an old Lima, it had a big block in it, so the weight wasn't actually in the chassis, the weight was actually in the weight. But as you can see, she's up and running again. And so I'm really pleased with that. And I'll tell you what we can do. I'll let you talk amongst yourselves for a minute, whilst we kind of, oh yeah, I've got the actual, got the 47 running as well. So we call 47, 39. I can only run 2 trains at a time really, but there we go. Right, I'm going to stop that there for a moment. I'm actually really impressed with the lights, because I think they've really come out really well. Hello again, Stephen. There you go. Just so you can run that way round. Let me see. I don't know. That's a good point, King Fox. Let me just get these established and we'll... Right, let's have a look. I'm going to tone this down and then we'll see. Right, we're going to turn off the lights and then we're going to see what it looks like in the dark. See what you think. I've darkened it up as much as I can. See what you guys think. I can still see there's a tiny bit of light bleed. Right, okay, so that's coming out from there. So there's some adjustments to be made. But apart from that, I think it looks pretty good. Here it comes again. Yeah, I like it actually. They're better than the bulbs that came with it. Well, I'll see if I can... That's really cool. Right. I'm just going to stop it. Hi Alan, welcome back. Just to let you guys know. Right, there we go. We'll stop it there. So let's take you over a little bit for a closer view of what this looks like. Oh. Yeah, as you can see, there is a little bit of light bleed, but I can sort that out. That's not really too much of an issue. I think it's just the way that they are. the problem is like I said before, I'll get you closer in the dark. Oh. As you can see, there is some light bleed on the top, so I'm going to have to sort that out. Oh, let's put you back up on there. Yeah, so it works. It's better than my other ones, actually, than the ones that's on Old Oak Common, I think. So, let's switch the light back on so you can see. Yes, John, it's just to let you know that the lights work on I've managed to sort it out, the problems with it. Basically what's happened is, for those of you just joining, that's it. For those of you just joining, that basically what's happened is the yeah, let's do that. You really don't want to see my kitchen. It really is a bit of a mess because I've been trying to sort this out. Right. Okay, so what happened was, it turns out that the actual socket itself, the wiring, the red wire to the socket. Thank you, John A. Dawson. Basically what happened is, on the socket itself, the red wire had come away from the solder, from the socket. So I've had to rewire that, and just as I did that, the black went as well. So there's obviously a weak connections on that harness. To be fair, I bought it a long time ago and I've had it for years, and it probably isn't the best quality one that I bought off of eBay, if I'm being truthful. But it's still working again now. The main issue that I've had is actually putting it back together again. So, but I'm really pleased with it actually. It's come along really, really well. I mean, I think you can see it's worked out really well. I'm going to take off the tripod again in shortly. The only thing is, there is some light bleed coming into the cab, which I'd like to address. So that'll be something I'll be doing. So there's the other two. There's the other two that I'm working on. Yeah, it was a relief, but I'm starting to get really frustrated, to be honest. So yeah, it's no problem, Stephen. Thank you for just popping on again. I'm so tempted to change the bulbs on 43093 because I think the bulbs are brighter, they're better. The bulbs I got from eBay, pre-wired. So that's pretty cool. I'm just going to take you off the tripod, and I'm going to sort of so there you go. Yes, it wasn't too bad a fix in the end. Oops, let me get this up. Oh, good. I'm glad, Anthony. They're really nice. But yeah, I'm really pleased now. That's now running. Let me see if hang on a second. Yeah, the GBRF 47 I really like. That's got sound in it. That's on a kind of rail tour with the coaches that Alan kindly provided. too much. I just want to do it a bit more. I'm really not very good at. I haven't actually done any work to the layout because obviously I've been doing this HST project. Now I have found out inadvertently now when I did the HST projects and I said that I'd done one random one, which was this one, basically it turns out that I've actually seen it at Reading, so that's really cool. And one of the other ones that I have knocking about, which I think, I don't know where it is, which is, yeah, this one here that I've got in my hand. I'll show you in a jiffy. Now, actually what I'll do is I'm going to stop that 47 because then I can talk to you a bit more, actually, about recall 4739. Here we go. Right, we'll stop that in the station. Because I want to show you something else. Right. Yeah, John, it is. It really is. I'm going to show you something else now. So bear with me a minute. Recall 4320. And we're going to stop. All right, let's stop that. Come on. Great. Right. So the next thing I'm going to show you is all right, let's get you over a bit more so we can show you a bit more, because then I can show you the differences. All right, let's see if we can crank you a bit lower. Right. I don't know if you can see. In fact, I may very well get. Now, the lighting board that's on the blue HST, which I've just done, is the same, oopsie, as on this one. And this is the one that came with the railroad range. But if you look at the way the lights have done, you can see how different it is, the configuration. But as you can see on this one, I've changed it to a daytime running. And you actually can see the little circles because they've been painted out. And because this one hasn't been painted out, all the lighting is all over the place. It's not really prototypical if you're going for that look. So what I've had to do is I've had to sort of paint it out so it looks like it's got where it's got the circular lights, really. So it does need a little bit more work on it, but yeah, it's pretty much there. So you can see the difference. Even though it's got the same lighting board on it, you can see that the lighting is just so much more different because the two inner lights in the middle are illuminated. And that's the thing, if you get that board and buy it with the bulb that comes with it, it will only illuminate the two middle lights, which will be this one here and that one. So these outer ones won't get illuminated, which is why you need two bulbs. So that's why I put two bulbs into that, and now it looks a lot better. Like I said, I still need a bit more work to do, but you can see the difference. That looks, the blue looks more prototypical than this one. I'm now going to show you Old Oak Common. So bear with me a minute. So if we should take away this one. Oh, and just incidentally, before we go, before I remove this green one, it actually turns out, yeah, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I did, John. But I had to go over it a few times because there was still light bleed coming through. So I had to do like a few coats. I had to do about 2 or 3 coats to make sure that the light bleed was removed. But obviously I've still got some light bleed to do. So I'm going to paint out the inside of that when I paint the inside out of this one. And that should stop the little bits of light bleed on the corner there. Incidentally, like I said, I do have a connection with this one, which is 43005. I've actually travelled behind this one inadvertently. I didn't realise this, but I'd come across one of my videos and it turns out I've actually ridden behind this one as well. So that's pretty cool. So let me put on the Old Oak Common one, which is my latest one. And Old Oak Common is actually more subtle. It's not quite as bright. I don't know which ones you prefer, but you can sort of tell that the blue one is definitely more intense, whereas Old Oak Common has got the lights, but it's not as intense, not as bright. So I don't know which ones you prefer. I'll switch the lights off again and we'll have another look in the dark if I can get this camera on the tripod again. Let's turn the lights off. We can see, compare. I think you can tell that the blue is definitely more intense than the than Old Oak Common. So let's take a close up, see what you guys think. Don't know which ones you prefer. But yeah, but they're both lemurs and they're both converted in the same way. Right, so that's lighting back up. Right, so me again. Scary. Right, so that's it. I don't know if any of you guys have got any questions that you want me to clarify, because it's oh, that one's a bit, okay, that's why that one's not balanced properly. Right, so I've got something else to tell you. Yeah, I have done, but the problem that I have is, like, you've got the lights on the trains and the headlights, but then you've got no coaches. The only coaches stock I really run at night is like stuff like the EMU behind me and my Great Western one, because that's got coach lighting. Just a bit of housekeeping once again, for those of you who missed it the first time round. The GWR Old Oak Common, which is the one you just seen, somebody asked me if I'd used the Wilco's paint, which was this one. And because I really wanted to try this paint and see whether or not this was the right paint. In the end, it was completely out. And I'll show you the difference in just a minute. So I didn't go with that. So I sprayed the Old Oak Common HST with this Halfords paint, which is Land Rover Epsom Green. And that is pretty much the colour that's on there, which I think is pretty much spot on. And I'll give you a colour comparison. Now, according to this lid, that's the colour that came out of this can, the Wilco's. So I don't know what you guys think, but that to me is nowhere near close. And I'd originally sprayed the body in a white primer, which is why I've just used this white bit of foam board to give you a taste of what the colour was. And you can just see that the green is completely out. If you look further down, this is the green from the Epsom green, and you can see even on a white background, the difference is absolutely huge. So I'm not sure where Wilco's got their green from, but it definitely, what was on that lid certainly isn't what came out, because that's what came out, and that was pretty disgusting, to be honest. It's horrid. So just a quick tidy up on that. So okay, everybody. So I'm just gonna love you and leave you, because I've been taking up a lot of your time today. So thank you for tuning in. I'm glad that a lot of you seem to have liked it. My apologies, long-winded, but we get there in the end. So until the next time, everybody, it's goodbye from Mildenhall and Volmer, and I actually managed to do some electrics for a change. Woohoo! Pat on the back. So goodbye, everybody, and thank you for joining in. So it goes to show you, look, if I can do some electrics, then anyone can, because I'm the world's worst person at electrics. So take care, and until the next time, goodbye.